We're good.
Yo, 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 welcome back to the Out the Box Show. I'm John Wallace alongside my co-hosts James Luffy and Rory Luke. We hope you had a wonderful Mardi Gras, but we just witnessed the end of another heartbreaker for this LSU basketball team. LSU drops a late season game on the road. It seemed like we had it in our graphs, 76-77. And we want to do a little bit of live reaction before we really get rolling in the show. Luffy, what can you tell me about the way the last couple minutes were handled in this game?
It's not like this was the first time this has happened, especially in SEC play. At the end of the game, we're an absolute disaster. We don't use the timeouts in inappropriate situations, and we foul. We commit stupid fouls. We give teams 3 points at the end of the game. They didn't earn a point towards the end of that game, and it's pissing me off because it's not like, all right, it's the player's fault because they've committed a couple bad fouls. Like, that should have been fixed. Like, that should have been fixed by now. It's the end of the season. Like, that shit should not still be happening, and it is, and that's why they're 8-9 in SEC play instead of being, I don't know, they could have 12, 13 wins in SEC play. If it was, we were decent situationally, but we're awful. We're awful. We've blown 2 late game leads to Arkansas, and that's probably the difference in an 8 seed and a 6 seed.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tough game. Arkansas away had some calls go against you. I mean, even at the end of the game right there, it wasn't an obvious travel, but it definitely was a travel. And we get called for a foul. They make 2 free throws to win the game, but the guy literally came down with the ball, then jumped up. Feet comes off the ground. It's travel, but it was definitely a winnable game, and it sucks. But look, I'm being positive here, but like we're definitely on the way up. I mean, Arkansas is a good team. You played them hard at home. You should have won that game. And being good isn't enough, but only in the right direction as of late.
So, given the loss and whatnot, like we're heading into March Madness. March is here, by the way. What could this win have done for LSU as far as seeding goes heading into the tournament? I know we have Bama coming up this week to round out the season.
I think that we were probably a 6 seed lock, and now I don't really know where they're going to be.
And maybe, I like this. I like the 6 seed because you're on the 2 side of the bracket, so you get to play the 3, and then you get to play the 2. You don't have to touch the 1.
Yep. It's so much more important to be on that side, like you said. Like, I don't know. I think tonight costs us pretty big time, and you have to beat the Gumps on Saturday, or you're going to end up in that 8-9 seed spot. I think, unless you go play really well in the SEC tournament.
Yeah, and I think that this is probably a game that we weren't. I mean, we were not favored. We covered, but we were not favored. So I don't know how much it will hurt us in the rankings, but it's definitely a game that you go from a 6 to you're 100% a 6 if you win this game. But now
Yep.
We're iffy.
All righty. Well, that was a little live reaction to kind of start the show. We're recording late night on a Wednesday night. We do have a lot of other stuff to get to, but we want to kind of break it down, and let you know our emotions after the game. Lots to get to on this show. LSU baseball with a 4-game series sweep of the Towson. What are they, Rory? I know you know. And the Southern Jaguars.
It's something
either way, two
Tigers.
Teams that LSU baseball is supposed to beat week in and week out.
That's some Tigers.
What's that?
Tigers.
Wow. Okay, so the Tigers beat the Tigers. Maybe we'll briefly mention the past LSU basketball games. The LSU women's team is heading up to the SEC tournament as the number 2 seed. That is absolutely incredible. We got the Shriners Classic this weekend in Houston. I will be in attendance. And I think we're probably going to spin the House Always Wins segment this week because we got so much to get to. And if you want to see some spring football, we're going to talk about Rory Luke's team in the Bearsers Bowl this weekend. So lots to get to on the Out the Box show. Shout out to the Boo Crew Media Network. Make sure to check them out. There's so much content around this time of year. All it can do is help you to go check it out. If you're interested in crawfish bowls, New Orleans, Mardi Gras this past weekend, you name it, there is content for everybody, and you will not be disappointed. BooCrewMedia.com and on social media at Boo Crew Media. And shout out to Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty. Blaine Loop is my realtor. He is my personal realtor, the official realtor of the Out the Box podcast. Make sure to call or text him at 504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. And remember, the greatest feelings in life are the same as getting the best realtor. What I mean by that is whenever you're talking about getting a good deal, using a coupon to save some money at the grocery store, having your college basketball team win on a last-second three-point shot, unlike LSU was able to do tonight. That is the same feeling you will get when having Blaine Loop realtor your home, whether it's buying, selling, renting, you name it, Blaine will help you out. 504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. Give him a call, please. Blaine wants to help you. All right. We're not going to spend that much time talking about LSU baseball this past weekend. Obviously, there were some high points and whatnot, but we were playing teams that we're playing the Tigers and the Jaguars of Towson and Southern respectively. It was a little interesting having a 4-game series. I wish there was more of those, but then at the same time, I look at LSU baseball's record right now, and the games are flying by, right? So, we can talk about, we can kind of go maybe a quick, 20 seconds on each game. My thought on Friday night is you had Blake Money going 7 innings again. That's exactly what you need from your Friday night guy. Looked impressive, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Exactly what you need.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He looked like a legit Friday guy again, which is good to see. I mean, you really have to have that to compete, late in the year. So that was good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not giving up a earned run all year. He's been pretty electric. So, and I mean, excited to see what he can do this weekend.
Yes. So Saturday, LSU took care of Southern pretty handily as well, 9-2. Not, it's your usual suspects, right? You got Barry, you got Cruz, you got Morgan, and we'll kind of get to that as we go towards the stats. Sunday was the absolute blowout day. You had LSU in the first game beating Towson 11-1, and then the second game was a run avalanche, so to speak. LSU beat Southern 15-0. It's crazy how you get. I think what's so interesting about this team is that LSU had their top 3 guys, their top 3 in the order. You had Cruz, Morgan, Doty, Dugas. Then you get the supplemental guys like Barry and Joe Bear coming in this year to solidify like your top 6 guys as far as hitting goes, right? There's some things that LSU needs to work out in the field, but as far as hitting goes, I mean, Sunday Barry had, a total of 5 hits, 5 RBIs. Joe Bear is, no matter where you put him in the lineup and whatnot, he DH'd in the first game, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Like, they're knocking in runs, and to date, the batting average. I'm making sure I'm reading this right. This hasn't been updated from the game tonight, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
We have 4 guys batting in the 400s. Now, you could say that LSU is not playing the best teams, not playing the best pitching and whatnot. But wouldn't you rather have guys batting in the 400s heading into playing the number 1 team in the country this Saturday?
Yeah, I think that just even looking at like the runs, like Trey Morgan, I know he scored a couple times tonight. Before tonight, he had scored 14 runs already on the year, and like uh, Joe Bear and Cruz 13. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like there's we're putting up a lot of runs, but like you said, big test this weekend.
And I think we were pretty hyped up last year. I think we kind of had the same exact thing, right? LSU showed signs of gorilla ball early in the year last year, and it kind of petered off. So, I mean, what better test this weekend than heading to Minute Maid, getting to play in the big stadium, the big environment against Texas, the number one team in the country. LSU will also be playing Oklahoma on Friday afternoon, and Sunday they will be playing Baylor. Little night game, little Sunday night baseball in Houston. We got a crew of LSU fans making the trip up to Houston this weekend for the games. Not to brag, got a little suite that we'll be sitting in, so going to be a good time. But I guess taking LSU's last 5 games, 5-0, last 5 games, all games that we should have won. You have your money guys starting Friday night as usual, and you have 4, 5, 6 guys batting in the 400s heading into this weekend. I guess my question is, what does LSU need to prove this weekend? I know it's going to be difficult. I know this is Jay Johnson's first big test, but in you guys' eyes, what are your keys to this weekend at the Shriners Classic?
I think you got to go and show that the bats are for real, and you'll have a chance to. And I can get into this a little bit now or a little bit later, but just talking about the pitching that we'll see this week. I mean, Oklahoma, you have a guy Jake Bennett who pretty much threw a great game. The first outing gets Auburn, they won 3-0. Big lefty, mid-90s with a change and a cutter. Top 100 college prospect, good player, lefty, which you really don't see that much of, and throws pretty hard from the left side. So that's going to be a challenge for sure. And then you go into Saturday, play Texas, number 1 team in the nation, who has the best rotation in college baseball. And you see a guy, Tristan Stevens, 50-year senior, a guy who's been there, done that on this Texas squad. 50-year senior, he probably saw the middle finger. Speaking of that, I'll have to rock my middle finger shirt on Saturday.
That took me a second. Reference to the guys that have the most grit in LSU baseball history, the Jordan brothers.
Exactly.
What happened in the game? I thought we were up. We fucked it up.
Got an appearance. And then you get Saturday. I think we're going to face Will Rigney, Baylor Saturday guy, big right-hander, 6'6", big guy. So I think my key this weekend is you got to show the bats are for real on a national stage. If we get in there and Blake Money, so there's 2. Bats are for real. Is Blake Money for real? If we get in there and we go Friday night, Blake Money is dominant and we're swinging the bat, I mean, we're coming. You better start booking those fucking tickets. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
How about that? Nice.
And then, I mean, Saturday, Texas is undefeated. They're 8-0. It's a great baseball team. You lose on Saturday, that's okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
If we go 2-1 this weekend with wins against Oklahoma and Baylor and lose to Texas, I'm fine with that.
No, because that's the only game I'm going to be at. So we definitely need to win. Luffy, your thoughts?
I really want to see the relief pitching and like some of the guys that haven't pitched for us in the past, like how they do against real legit competition, because there's a lot of new relievers and pitchers that we have on the staff, and for the first time, like they're going to be going against some serious lineups. So I want to see just kind of how they respond, and then I think if you take 2 or 3, then it's definitely a successful weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting to see. And we haven't really, I guess, gotten word of what Jay Johnson's plans are. I mean, is there any shot that Money starts against Texas? Could that be in the works? And if so, it's like you have to have a plan for whenever your Friday night guy, your ace, isn't on his game, because it's realistic to think that is not always going to be the case. He's not always going to be able to go 7 innings.
See, I don't want to start. I'm out on starting money on Saturday because Texas plays Tennessee Friday. They're starting Tanner Witt. Tanner Witt is literally probably fighting with Cruz to be the number 1 college baseball player taken in the 2023 MLB draft. I mean, that kid's legit as legit comes. So they're going to pitch him Friday night. They're not going to save him for LSU Saturday. So we shouldn't be saving money for Saturday. I want to see our Friday guy against Texas's Saturday guy. That's not how baseball works. You might get lucky with that in the College World Series, but any other time in the year, you're not going to get that.
Good point, Rory. Good point. The only thing I was thinking is Jay Johnson doing his tinkering, and that this pitching staff is very unexperienced. But what better way to get them experience than throwing a guy that hadn't had much time on the bump against the number 1 team in the country.
And I mean, like Luffy was saying, the relief pitching, they have some serious hitters across the board. I mean, Texas, number 1 team in the nation for a reason, but Oklahoma and Baylor both have first round guys. Oklahoma, Peyton Graham, infielder, he's mid to late first round right now, and Baylor, Jared McKenzie, an outfielder, mid to late first round as well. There's MLB talent all over the field this weekend. Not including just the 3 games we play. I mean, you also get Tennessee there and UCLA there. I mean, this is an absolutely stacked, like mini tournament or whatever they want, the Shriners Classic. So there's going to be chances to show up and show out, and we're gonna see if we're the real deal or not.
I agree.
And I think also the last thing is last time we went to the Shriners Classic, what was that, 2019? Or
20.
It was 2020, which we didn't play the full year. But that we did not – I was not impressed with how we played after that.
Mm-hmm.
We beat Texas on Friday night, lost to Baylor, lost to Oklahoma. We got no hit by Oklahoma, correct? Yes.
I believe that is correct.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, and I mean, not many of the guys were on the team then. They're on the team now. But we can't – that cannot happen this weekend. We can't go there and swing noodles all weekend. Because if we go there and swing noodles all weekend, I mean, it's – this vaunted offense needs to show up.
And kind of like we've talked about, it is great to have this grade of competition going on the road. We talked about LSU's midweek game last week against Tech, in which we dropped it. Going on the road early on in the season, I would much rather. I mean, hell, even if we lose 2 out of the 3, which I don't think we will. I think, Rory, you're kind of spot on the money saying Friday, Sunday, those are the games to win. Texas is up in the air. But doing it this early on in the season, I mean, we're 10 games in, played a bunch of non-conference opponents that haven't been that challenging, I guess. But besides Tech, of course. So it will definitely be interesting to throw this competition towards LSU baseball. So I think that about does it for the baseball talk. I like I said, I will be heading to Houston this weekend for the Shriners Classic. If you're going, hit me up. Let me know. Rory and James have some other very important stuff to take care of. But, wow.
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. I am sorry.
Who's that calling, Roy? Your mom?
It's Papa John's.
Papa John's. Wow. Ask him if they want to sponsor us.
Yes.
They do?
Leave this in.
They want to sponsor us. Dude. So apparently Rory submitted a proposal for them to sponsor us, and now they're
So
calling him back to iron out the details. Now he's stepping away from the mic. But Luffy, while Rory's on his pizza break, why don't you tell us
John?
about the Bird Box?
I was driving back to work the other day after lunch, and I passed some houses, and guess what? Somebody was redoing their house. I say this all the time. They had a roll-off dumpster in their yard, and guess whose it was? It was a Workbox one. Martine hooked them up. They're the best in Louisiana if you need a storage container, roll-off dumpster, portable toilet, portable office, portable luxury restroom rentals, porta potties, roll-off dumpsters. Call Martine at Workbox at 225-343-4886. They're in the business. Cleanest porta potties out there, guaranteed, out the box guaranteed. Call Workbox LLC at 225-343-4886.
All right. Also, want to give a huge shout out to the House Bar in Tigerland. Luffy, I got my hat on again, dude. I'm looking fresh to death. Make sure to check out the House Bar in Tigerland. The crawfish season is on the horizon. I've had crawfish probably 3 out of the last 4 weekends. It's a phenomenal time. The House Bar is always doing them as well as other things, and they always have great drink deals. Make sure to head on over to the House Bar in Tigerland. We're going to suspend the House Always Wins segment this week because we didn't do too great last week, but we will be back for the 100th episode in the House Always Wins segment. We're going to have some March Madness picks, maybe some LSU baseball. I don't know. Rory mentioned that last week. The LSU baseball lines are available. So get on over to the House Bar in Tigerland. Make sure to check them out on social media at Tigerland House on Twitter and on Facebook and Instagram at House in Tigerland. All right, Luffy. I want to just ask a question. I know we already talked about LSU basketball, but given the last few games, LSU gets the tough road loss in Lexington last Wednesday. That was kind of expected. Saturday blew out Mizzou in the PMAC, whoop-de-doo. And then tonight, the heartbreaking 1-point loss to Arkansas. So we had Bama, I believe, on Wednesday, correct?
Yes.
Heading into the SEC tournament, right? Where do you see LSU shaking out in there as far as seeding goes, and how do you think that will affect March Madness tournament?
Well, since we lost tonight, we won't get a bye, right? So it'll be different than the last couple of years, but I think you'll need to win maybe the first 2 games, 3 games, maybe the first 2 games to have a shot to be like a 6 seed. But like Rory said, it's so important to be the 6 because if not, you get on the other side of the bracket and have to play a 1 seed, and we could beat a 1 seed, especially this year. I mean, Kentucky's probably going to be a 1, and we almost beat them the other day. And I think we can hang with Auburn. So like we can beat anybody. It's just, we haven't shown that consistency to be ranked as a high seed.
I think it's always crazy whenever you have a basketball team that you say, oh, well, they can hang with the best of them. It's like, well, generally over a season that plays out in your record, right? Like it all kind of comes out in the wash. So like we always say, it's always about getting hot at the right time in March. LSU has the potential to beat anybody. LSU is pretty much all healthy to be able to compete and to play into March, right? I mean, it's just getting the pieces together and having that awareness at the end of the game to be able to put it all together. Because LSU was up 7-8 points with 7 or 8 minutes left in the game tonight, and somehow it just falls apart. Seems like more often than not. So, and now we got Rory back in the studio.
My Papa John's dilemma that just happened, live podcast, and we got going on here.
Are they sponsoring us or not?
No, they're definitely not. And I don't want to sponsor from them after that.
Okay.
So I ordered Papa John's like 9:15, and I was like, all right, it might be here before we start recording. If not, like I'll just have them leave it at the door, whatever. It is now 10:45, and I just got a call, and they were like, hey, we made your pizza an hour ago, but we only have one delivery driver. So we tried to get your delivery through DoorDash, and the DoorDash driver still hasn't picked it up. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of still want my pizza. Is there any way I could get like some money back and get my pizza? And she was like, no. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just take the money back and not get my pizza. So looks like I gotta wait like an hour and 10 minutes to eat because I don't know where else.
Rory, you can't be eating that. You can't be eating that this week because you have
let's go ahead and
Barista
talk
Bowl.
about the
How you
Bears.
say it?
The Bears
Barista
Bowl.
Tell us about it, Rory.
Bears Bowl. Everybody come out March 4th. So this Friday, tomorrow, when you're listening to this, at Olympia Stadium, right by John's house. Sadly, John will not be there.
Yep.
What time, Rory?
6:30.
Okay.
6:30 the festivities start. You will witness me. I have to make a speech. So if you're there at 6:30, I got to make a speech.
Sign autographs.
Maybe after the game, after the win. 6:30, all proceeds go to Star in Baton Rouge, which is a great charity. Sexual trauma awareness and response team in Baton Rouge. It's for charity, full tackle football game. I will be playing both sides of the football, but we're looking good. We got some solid linemen. We got some athletes. I will say, so it's purple versus gold team. I'm purple team, and the other team's gold. I will say the gold team does have a quarterback. There's only one quarterback in the draft that played quarterback in high school. They got him because they got first pick. So we're rocking with a former baseball player playing quarterback, but he can still sling it. We got a solid offense. We got 5 people who played line in high school, so we're going to run the ball. And I'm setting the line at, I think I would give us -7.5.
Wow.
That's a tough line.
Okay.
How long is the game and the quarters and all that?
So the game is 4 12-minute quarters.
Damn.
And shout out to Mr.
Is the
Carl
clock running?
What?
Is the clock going to be running?
It's like a regular clock. So shout out Mr. Carl the Cat. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you definitely don't need that pizza then.
But he will be there because he's refereeing our game. I don't know if he knows that I
Shout out, Carl.
am also participating, but I will tell him before the game. That way we can get some favorable.
Hey, yes, you might get some favorable calls.
Maybe it was supposed to be a surprise that he was reffing the game, and he also probably wanted to keep it a secret because he is not going to shave points.
They might take him off
to let any calls go your way. He's going to call a fair game, but that is pretty cool. So,
but look, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. I'm guaranteeing a win on this podcast. I'm guaranteeing a win.
You have made some guarantees, and another guarantee that you made is that we're going to be back in the studio next week after football season is over. So, episode 100 is next week. So, Rory, good luck to you and the purple team.
Pray for my ACL.
Yeah, we cannot afford to have you out with an ACL injury at the Out the Box podcast. So, I know we're kind of doing a hodgepodge of sports talk tonight, but that's because there's so much going on. Like we mentioned, LSU women's basketball is heading up to the SEC tournament, number 2 seed. I just wanted to give a quick shout out and say something that everybody knows. Kim Mulkey is an absolute savage. She
number 6 team in the country.
Yes. She got absolutely slighted by whatever committee, whatever bozos put together the coach of the year. She basically, her response to being snubbed was that she has plenty of other coach of the year trophies sitting around collecting dust and that it's not about her. I thought that was incredible. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you don't give the coach of the year award to a coach that turned around a program that was 9-3 and 6-8 in their conference last year to all of a sudden being 25-4 and 13-3 in the conference. It's an absolute slight, but all that to say, the committee probably did the best thing they could because Kim Mulkey is going to give it all to her players anyway. So, but I just thought since nobody else was thinking or saying it, that we need to give Coach Kim Mulkey the support that she deserves because Nikki Vargas never got that type of support. So, all right. We're suspending the House Always Wins segment, like we've already said.
Wins. Hammer mortgage pick. Purple team -7.5.
Okay. All right. So that's what it'll be. So we while you got up for your pizza, we gave the House Bar ad. And all three of our House Always Wins pick is going to be the purple team in the LSU Law Barristers Bowls -7.5. If you want to take those odds, text Rory and he will be taking bets on his team. He's like, what was that player, Rory, in baseball?
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Rory's the Pete Rose of the Out the Box show. He is taking bets on his team. So make sure to get your bets into Rory. All right. We just covered like 4 or 5 different sports / topics / events in about 30 minutes. I think the biggest thing to look forward to this weekend, LSU has to win against the Gumps on Saturday, and the Shriners Classic is going to be interesting. But I think that about does it for our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. We cannot thank y'all enough. We knew it was going to be a short episode this week because we are building up to episode 100 of the Out the Box show next week. I honestly cannot believe it. It has been quite a ride. I'm not going to get emotional on you guys, but I really do enjoy doing this every week, and the fan interaction makes it all that much better. Shout out to all of our sponsors, the House Bar in Tigerland, Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty, who also want you to know that Keller Williams is an equal opportunity housing partner, each office independently owned and operated, and Workbox LLC, as well as the Boot Crew Media Network. And with that, Rory and Luffy, you guys rode in Toth in New Orleans on Sunday, and if I don't get an invite to that next year, I'm going to be quite upset, especially after we've done 100 episodes of this podcast together.
Speaking of
Toth, it was fun. Man, Rory got picked. He's good. He's recovering right now, but he's good. It was his last year, so there's going to be some open. There's going to be some open spots.
All right.
Well, he went out like a warrior.
Well, good to know. If one of those spots is open, I'm in. So
yeah, me and James were next to each other. We were just missing each other.
Yeah. Well, there's always next year, right?
There's always next year.
Hey, John, you got any questions about